All right, and for vid number 3, these two things I want to talk about are from silverdoctors.com. And if by chance you happen to be running over there at any point to buy some silver at Silver Doctors, SD Bullion, you know the little section that says, like, did somebody refer you? If you don't mind, put in JSNIP4. I got an email from them because the day, remember the day I told you I saw those 10-ounce bars that were brand new on their website. I didn't see them anywhere else. And it was Jesus going in the temple and whipping the bankers out. And I said, whether I'm a religious guy or not, I'm not, I got to have one of them bars. That's fantastic. So I bought a few of them. Okay. And I showed you, hey, I got the bar in, check it out. Well, apparently I drove a amount of people over there to do the same. And they emailed me and say, hey, Jay Snip, man, apparently you must have, when you bought that bar, a few of those bars, some of your subscribers must have came over here and done the same thing because you sent a bit of traffic over here. So I said, I'd like to, help that work for you, in the future if you happen to do it again. He said, just mention that you have a link or whatever, or in the referral link, just when they're signing up, whatever, just put JSNIP4. We'll send you $30 for every new, customer you send our way. I was like, oh, okay. I'll take that. Matter of fact, hang on to the $30. Let it accumulate. Let me get some more of them bars. Thanks. But in all seriousness, if you happen to go over there and you buy, just referral JSNIP4. Be great. Be very grateful for that. Thank you. Don't have to. Matter of fact, you don't even have to go there. If you have your guy you like to go buy from, go for it. Like I said, I use JM Bullion. I use SD Bullion. Those are my two favorites right now. But it is hard to argue with $7.70 shipping on any order, if you know what I mean. SD Bullion for that. First article. Well, the main article I want to talk about, Economist issues warning on coming collapse. Exactly how this thing detonates and who dies is very hard to figure out. Max Slavo. But before I get into that, remember the story I was doing several days ago? And I think something Bix Weir had said, and an email prompted me to look at something, and then I read this big long article, and at the very end it said, because Bix Weir was talking about how the CME group with Thomson Reuters is no longer going to provide the electronic silver fix to the LBMA, which is the London Bullion Market Association, part of the criminal rigging operation, if you will. And they had a contract to do so until 2019, so why are they cutting it short, and yada, yada, yada. And then I see this article come out, South American country involved. This kid, as I read to you, smuggled gold, illegal gold, that wasn't being paid, had taxes being paid on it to the government. So they were giving it to fire sales to this kid who was then sending it to a place in Miami known as NTR Metals or something. And I said, guys, I think this might have something to do with why LBMA in CME Group, whatever, cut ties, so to speak, because at the very bottom of the article, this company was providing LBMA with a lot of its gold. Well, Silver Doctors, today, March 16th, federal agents have arrested NTR Metals manager Juan Granda, the self-proclaimed modern day Pablo Escobar of gold, over charges the U.S. gold and silver firm smuggled billions of dollars, by the way, not millions, billions of dollars of illegally mined gold into the U.S. Last week, we discussed counterparty risk in the gold market in the wake of Bloomberg's shocking expose of international gold smuggling. As Bloomberg reports, NTR Metals company manager Juan Granda has now been arrested and charged. The operations manager at a metals refining company was charged with helping run a gold smuggling network that reaped billions of dollars for illegal mines controlled by drug dealers and other criminals in South America. A criminal complaint against Juan P. Granda outlines a vast conspiracy involving employees at NTR Metals to buy huge amounts of gold from illegal mines in Peru that support human trafficking, forced labor, and environmental devastation. The scheme allowed the NTR Metals office in Miami to launder billions of dollars for criminal organizations, including Peruvian narco-terrorists, by buying gold from mines they control, according to a U.S. complaint filed in Miami. The charges signal a U.S. crackdown on smugglers exploiting a spike in worldwide consumption of gold mined illegally in the Amazon basin. where laborers use fire hoses and mercury to extract the nearly pure precious metal. Trey Gum, General Counsel for Elemental, declined to comment. Officials believe NTR smuggled nearly $4 billion in illegal mined gold beginning in 2012. Industry rumors for months had circulated that NTR had a massive gold shipment seized by authorities. And the NTR manager reportedly referred to himself as a modern-day Pablo Escobar. The complaint details some of the encrypted group chats that Granda and his confederates sent, or was that confederates sent on their cell phones. Almeida said Granda referred to himself as a modern-day Pablo Escobar, the Colombian drug boss who was killed in 1993. "I'm like Pablo, coming to Ecuador to get the coke," he said, according to the complaint. Granda and salesperson 1 bragged to each other about their gold mules, sending pictures of young men carrying backpacks. In a market dependent on capital and trust, news of federal charges cannot be good news for Elemental, one of the largest gold and silver firms in the country. Interesting. On the other thing, Economist issues warning on coming collapse. Exactly how this thing detonates and who dies is very hard to figure out. From Max Slavo, shtfplan.com. On Monday, House Majority Leader Paul Ryan warned that if his health care plan fails to pass, then the Obamacare system will collapse. It's a sentiment that the Market Ticker founder Carl Denninger has shared for years, citing basic arithmetic that shows the Affordable Care Act passed in 2009 simply cannot be sustained. But before you get excited about the possible repeal of current laws that are to be replaced by Ryan's new GOP bill, consider that the new bill is destined to fail for the very same reasons. It's a simple math problem, and the math shows there's not enough money to cover the costs for a healthcare system rooted in corruption and monopolistic tendencies, regardless of what Paul Ryan, President Trump, or their opponents in Congress say. The end result, says Denninger, is a recent interview with Future Money Trends, is a complete collapse of not just healthcare, but the entirety of the U.S. economy. The fallout, he says, will be devastating and will lead to the deaths of many who have become completely dependent on an ever more broke U.S. taxpayer. Exactly how this thing detonates and who dies, if you will, from a corporate perspective and from an economic perspective is very hard to figure out, because if you think that this beast is just going to roll over and quietly go into the night, you'd be very mistaken about that. When this thing goes up in smoke, there are some things you can very reliably count on happening, and one of them is that if you are dependent on high dollar treatments, you have a high impact disorder or disease, you're going to die. You need to understand this very clearly. You are going to die unless you have Donald Trump style money. The bottom line is that as the system starts to cannibalize itself, what it has done up until now and will continue to do, since they can't take from those who have nothing to take, they will attempt to take everything from those who have something. The only way to avoid that happening to you is to not need. If you do need, then you need to decide if you are just going to make peace with God and whatever wealth you have, and leave whatever wealth you have to the people you choose, or you're going to essentially donate it to a corrupt system that is stealing about $1.05. There are other options. Some of them are not very legal, but among the legal options, the best one that you can take is to become independent on that to the extent you are able. Being as well, and I'll give you an example. My wife diagnosed with MS years and years and years ago, about 12 years ago now. Doctor here didn't believe it. No, I don't think you have. No, can you just give me an x-ray? I want to see if I have any lesions in my head. No, that's not. I'm paying for it. Can you just do it? Okay, fine. She does it. 2 lesions, one larger than the other. Oh my God. He's looking at the paperwork. Oh my God. I didn't think you. I mean, this is. So do you think I have symptoms of it? Well, yeah, because of that, yeah. Thank you. Get me the hell out of here. Went to Mexico, stem cell therapy because it was illegal in the U.S. Cured her very rapidly. Went back, MRI, scan, big lesion, little lesion, gone except for one little teeny tiny mark. It has not grown, has not done anything. It's just there. Maybe it's a scar. Who knows? That was it. She went back way later again to check the MRI. Same thing. Nothing happened. Great. I think that's what he's talking about. Find a different way to take care of yourself. Super high risk, cancer, $10,000 a pop. You are going to destroy the healthcare system in America. Not you personally, as if you're doing it. The pharmaceutical industry with the hospital industrial complex, $10,000 a visit, please, is going to destroy it. You just happen to have cancer and are costing the rest of us tons of money so that those rich pharmaceutical companies and the freaking hospital industrial complex makes a fortune. And then we have the Medicaid fraud and Medicare fraud. I don't even want to get into that. Healthcare, the insurance fraud, all of it. Fraud, fraud, fraud. As I said, how do you live in a world with morals, you yourself with morals and righteousness, when the world around you is not righteous and has no morals? You have to figure out how to deal with that. Hang on. Because if that's what's out there, how do you play a game in that system? I don't want to play in that system. I don't like that system. That's not nice. It's not a nice system. Wake up call. It is the system. What are you going to do about it? I don't want to participate. I don't want to buy healthcare. I'm not playing that game. Oh, we're going to fine you. Well, speaking of this healthcare law, whether it's worse than Obamacare or the same or whatever, all I know is they're taking out the mandate. Who are you to tell me that I have to pay for health insurance when I don't even want to use it? I'll go to Mexico. I'll go somewhere else south of the border. Anyways, being as independent of the system as possible is the key to survive. Oh, well, let me finish one thing. The cancer thing. Glyphosate, Monsanto's crap in our food. They're taking food samples. Yep, trace amounts, and that. All on the wheat stuff, genetically modified foods. Now they're saying in California, Monsanto, you're going to have to label glyphosate, I think, glyphosate, as a cancer-causing agent. You have to have the sticker on there. And they objected. We don't like that because then it's going to hurt our sales. People won't want to get it. No kidding. No kidding, you dipshit. It causes cancer. And people need to know. So if more and more people are getting cancer, that means there's more and more of a huge financial strain on the system. How does it end? You think Trump can fix it? No. Not going to happen. You want to know how he could fix it? Monsanto, you're fired. Genetically modified anything, gone. Illegal. Felony. Get it out of the country. Go back to normal foods, which are technically organic, although they still may grow them with chemical fertilizer. But okay, we're gaining some ground at least. Then you would have less cancer, less money, less burden. What? Win. It's a win for everybody. Everybody except Monsanto. But you're one company. Get the F out of our way. We're trying to make America great again. Being as independent of the system as possible is the key to surviving the coming collapse. While the failure of our healthcare system will be a significant factor in the breakdown of life as we have come to know it in America, we can fully expect other core systems to malfunction, including financial markets and the economy as a whole. That's why Denninger has previously suggested that people take time to prepare. He says this time it won't recover with more hopium and fraud. That card has already been played, which means the pension funds and the annuities across this nation, are going to get smoked. Smoked like you used to smoke your hopium. They are going to come for all of it. Pension funds, private retirement funds, savings accounts, you name it. They'll raise taxes to extreme levels, as we are already seeing in California, where they are now literally taxing cow farts. The insanity will not only continue, it will accelerate, which means self-sufficiency may be your only way to avoid a total collapse of your personal environment. Assuming the disaster is worse than 2008, and why wouldn't it be? And mirrors something on the order of Greece, we can expect a variety of problems that may limit access to your bank account, life-saving medicines, food, and meaningful work. Excuse me. This is why we have repeatedly urged our readers to prepare for a variety of disasters by stockpiling long-term dry goods to supplement your diet in the event your paycheck takes a hit. We're also encouraging those with critical medical needs to put medicines in reserves because they may become inaccessible or extremely expensive to acquire amid shortages. Finally, have gold or silver in reserve and diversify your investment portfolio with precious metals resources companies. While we can't predict the future price of gold, the historical evidence for gold and silver as stores of wealth during times of crisis are hard to argue with. Up or down in terms of dollars, what will really matter is purchasing power, and that has remained consistent with precious metals for thousands of years. A collapse is coming. This is a mathematical certainty. And if you're not prepared for living independent of the system, at least in part, then you will feel the full brunt of the pain to come. I strongly agree with this. I do. It's why I remember, I said I used to have 3 things I would always advise people. Precious metals, gun, shotgun, something, protect your family. So precious metals, gun, and long-term food. Dehydrated or freeze-dried, whatever it may be. And I'm not talking a few weeks worth. Minimum of many, many, many months. Okay, that's really what we're talking. Minimum, and that probably won't be enough. But at least, like he said, you could supplement, buy some expensive food and supplement it with some rehydrated greens. You know what I mean? That kind of thing, or whatever. But I've added a 4th one. I said, which he didn't mention, but you really need to know this. And I've added it a while back. Highly filtrated water system, reverse osmosis. I remember going to Amazon, and I'm going to go there right now. Amazon. I'm going to show you this. Reverse osmosis system. Now, you'll see there's $200, $190. These are sponsored ones, whatever. 5-stage reverse osmosis, $190. This is something similar to what I have right now. Matter of fact, this one might actually be it. This looks like mine. Comes with everything you need. The storage tank holds a few gallons. Piece on the sink. You've got your 3 main filters. This middle one is normally the main membrane, which is really what filters the water down to micron level. Then you have 2 other outside filters, whatever there's another filter on the top, and then I think it's like a post filter. But then there's another one, which does it say it on there? One of these adds a little bit of nutrients back to the water, something like that, or like calcium or something back to the water. I've had mine for a little over a year now, and I haven't replaced anything in it yet. The water pressure is still great. Having said that, though, it's just about time to get another one. Filter system. The filter, just replace the filters on it. I can't stress that enough. You have no idea what's in your water, and by the time you find out what's in it, it's already too late. Does Michigan ring a bell? Lead in the water for over 2 years while the mayor or governor or both, whatever, knew about it. I think it was the mayor. Maybe it was the mayor, not the governor. I don't know. Anyways, well, we didn't really think it was an issue. It wasn't that bad. Drinking up all that water. If you had a reverse osmosis system, you could have been drinking it all up with a smile on your face. Oh, no problem. I'm fine. I'm good. Thanks. It's one thing you need to add to your list. You don't have to buy the system every year. You just need to replace the filters about once a year. And we use it a lot. Let me tell you something. We drink almost nothing but water in this house. Matter of fact, the day we don't drink water is the day I bring something home and my wife yells at me. And that's not that often. We have water. So I just want to add that. It's something you need to concern about. You got your stack of silver. Start thinking about some other things, all right? Just to be safe. Take care.